Alright, so I got the trailer hooked up and I got to check my tire pressure before I leave. I actually had to run back home to grab my, see the Cutlass over there? It's actually a really nice sunny morning compared to the rest of the week where it was raining. So I forgot this in the garage. I never leave to the track without my tire pressure gauge. Not only for the car, but to check the tires in the Suburban, check the tires on the trailer, and check the tires at the car at the track. Very important tool to have. So I've been running around since about 6:45, putting fuel in the Suburban, getting fuel for the car, put air in the tires of the Cutlass in the shop with our shitty tire pressure gun gauge deal that I hate. But I didn't feel comfortable with that, so I went and grabbed this. So I'm going to load up after I check my tire pressures, and we'll be hitting the track. What's up? Copper Cutlass coming at you guys. So I went to the track today. Still got actually my driver's band. Car did awesome. We rolled out early. It was cold. It was 30 degrees when I rolled out of here this morning to get fuel for the Suburban, fuel for the car, go to the shop, check air pressure on this and that and the other, get everything. We didn't end up leaving the shop until like 9. So even though my wife woke me, well, I actually woke her up. She got mad at me. And then, so actually I walked out of the house about 7. So I killed like 2 hours between loading up the Suburban and all that stuff. So we went out, first pack, well, not we, I was riding solo. My wife's looking at me like, I did not go with you. No, she didn't go with me. I rode solo today. First pass, I rolled it straight off the trailer in street trim, meaning I didn't touch tire pressure, I didn't uncap the headers, I ran it through the exhaust. The car spun off the hit, it recovered. I actually spun through it a little bit. I know most guys say that you're not supposed to, but I spun through it and I shifted really early and it recovered, and then it labored, and then in my mind, there's a certain time frame of engine RPM where I can almost anticipate the shift light. Well, I shot it early and I shifted, and the car just labored through the rest of the track. So, and I actually managed a 12.1 at 108, which actually wasn't too bad for a pretty bad run. So, second run, I uncorked the headers, dropped down the tire pressure to 18.5 pounds, and the car hooked and booked. Did a 1168 with a 6 at 111. And then 20 minutes later, I went up for another run. Same time, done. Unfortunately, since I was riding solo, there was no videos or any of that. There is a picture that surfaced out there. And I got pictures of the time slips I'll add. And I think today really solidified what I want to do with the car. And all I'm going to do is, the motor's going to come out at some point before the end of the year. I'm going to inspect it, make sure everything's good. Address whatever needs to get addressed. Make a couple of upgrades in the name of longevity. Nothing to change the performance. I'm really happy with how the car is working, and I think we finally figured out the sweet spot to launch that 4500 stall. It really likes to launch at about 2600 RPM on the foot brake, and at that point, I'm like almost just trying to fight it, but to not push past the brakes. But the car, we clicked off an 1156 and an 1157. Or 58, 60 foot, I believe. I don't know, you guys will see it in the time slips. I have them here, but I'll put pictures in the video. So our best 60 foot with the old converter was a 158 or 9, I want to say. So really, I think I need more gear to really take advantage of the 4500 stall. At least maybe that's what I'm thinking. But I think, the gear, the weight of the car and everything affect the stall. I know that I'm hitting the stripe at 6,000 RPM at the end of the track. So really, that's like, I got about 1,000 RPM kind of, well, not really. The car really likes about 6,700 RPM for a shift. So I think if the converter does change the slippage of, or the gear changes the slippage of the converter or something, I got wiggle room, because looking at the mile an hour, the RPM is 200 RPM difference between what I'm trapping at now and what it'll be RPM wise based off the calculations. But I know real life data changes, because it will alter your converter slip percentage and stuff like that. Stuff that I really don't know about, but I know guys have mentioned it. So really, I'm kind of going to dive off and guess on that. That's not my first-hand experience, but I think the car really needs like a 433, and I think this thing would probably do 11.5s, just dip under an 11.5 maybe. We chop the 60 foot down, but at that point, we're going to need a roll bar. So I need a 6-point if I go anywhere near the 1150s. So yeah, we're done. Car ran good. I'm going to start probably tomorrow working on the 347 and prepping stuff out and putting it together. So we will see you guys. I know things have kind of really mellowed out after Project Enron and our track time and everything. But share, like, subscribe. I got 2 years of videos that are backlogged. And I think what I'm going to do is, for you guys who don't follow me on Facebook, go ahead and follow and like my Copper's Garage page. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, like, chronologically just adding a video up to share from the beginning for some of you guys that maybe haven't been following that long. Actually, some of the early videos were actually from when I built a 306 for my boss, also a friend. So that's what I'm going to do, because this winter really is going to be like laid down, like not laid down, but like low down, cool, low key stuff. I'm really not going to do a whole lot. Like I said, this car is pretty much going to sit next year unless everything looks really, really good and we decide to go index racing with it next year versus the Bonneville. That is an option, but it's hard to keep two cars going. So the main goal is to just cruise the Bonneville, run street with it, and you know, maybe we'll take it to a couple of index races and see how we do if everything is good and it doesn't need any major work. So clearly the car doesn't need anything major. It runs good. Oil pressure is literally the same as the day I built it. But it bugs me that there's always little fine particle flake in my oil filter after every oil change. So I don't know if that's like the distributor gear. It could be the oil pump gears. With the thrust surface, where I think with the old converter I was ballooning it. So it was pushing against the thrust surface. But either way, I think the motor is probably going to be in good shape. Before I take it out, I'm going to do a series of diagnostic tests. So we're going to do like leak down tests, cylinder pressure, crank compression, all that fun stuff. We're going to document that before we yank it out, because I really, if I'm going to freshen it up, you need to know where to work. So that's what we're going to do. So share, like, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram as Copper Cutlass. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Follow me on Facebook, Copper's Garage. Copper's Garage. Not Copper Cutlass, Copper's Garage. That's the one you want to follow. So I'll see you guys later.